बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। मेरा नाम डॉक्टर अबू अब्दुल्ला है और आप देख रहे हैं रियल इस्लाम टीवी चैनल। दिस इज रिलेटिंग टू कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ मुस्लिम्स इन साइंस। टुडे वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग विद द रोल ऑफ मुस्लिम scientists in chemistry. So first of all, let us try to understand what is chemistry. Chemistry as a science is unquestionably the invention of the Muslims. It means that wholly solely this is the invention of Muslims. It's one of the science in which Muslims have made the greatest contribution and developed it to such a high degree of perfection that they were considered authorities in this science until the end of 17th century AD. Jabir and Zakaria Razi have the distinction of being the greatest chemists of the medieval time. Writing in his illuminating history of the Muslims, Philip K. Hetty acknowledges the greatness of Arabs in this branch of science when he says, after materia medica, astronomy and mathematics, the Muslim Arabs made their greatest scientific contribution in the chemistry. In the study of chemistry and other physical sciences, the Muslims introduced the objective experiment, a decided improvement over the hazy speculation of the Greeks. Accurate in observations of the phenomena and diligent in the accumulation of facts, the Muslims nevertheless found it difficult to project proper hypotheses. Jabir ibn Hayyan, in West it is called Gaber, who flourished in Kufa about 776 AD, is known as the father of modern chemistry, and along with Zakaria Razi, stands as the greatest name in the annals of chemical science during medieval times. He got his education from Umayyad prince Khalid ibn Yazid ibn Muawiyah and the celebrated Islam Jafar al-Sadiq. He worked on the assumption that metals like lead, tin, and iron could be transformed into gold by mixing certain chemical substances. It is said that he manufactured a large quantity of gold with the help of that mysterious quantity of gold substance, and 2 centuries later, when a street was rebuilt in Kufa, a large piece of gold was unearthed from his laboratory. He laid great emphasis on the importance of experimentation in his research, and hence he made great headway in chemical science. Western writers credited him with the discovery of several chemical compounds which are not mentioned in his 22 extant Muslim works. According to Max Meyerhoff, his influence may be traced throughout the whole historic course of European alchemy and chemistry. He is credited with the writing of 100 chemical works. Nevertheless, the works to which his name was attached, says Hetty, were after the 14th century and most influential chemical treatises in both Europe and Asia. He explained scientifically the two principal operations of chemistry, calcination and reduction, and registered a marked improvement in the methods of evaporation, sublimation, filtration, distillation, and crystallization. Jaber modified and corrected the Aristotelian theory of the constituents of metal, which remained unchanged until the beginning of modern chemistry in 18th century. He has explained in his works the preparation of many chemical substances including cinnabar, which is sulfide of mercury, and arsenic oxide. It has been established through historical research that he knew how to obtain nearly pure vitriolus, alums, alkalis, and how to produce the so-called liver and milk of sulfur by heating sulfur with alkali. He prepared mercury oxide and was fully conversant with the preparation of crude sulfuric and nitric acids. So we know that actually the founders of these acids were the Muslims. He knew the method of solution of gold and silver with this acid. His chemical treatises on such subjects have been translated into several European languages, including Latin, and several technical scientific terms invented by Jaber have been adopted in modern chemistry by the West. A real estimate of his achievements is only possible when his enormous chemical work, including the Book of 70, are published. Richard Russell, 1678 AD, an English translator, ascribes a book entitled Son of Perfection of Jaber. A number of his chemical works have been published by Berthelot. His books translated into English are the Books of Kingdom, Book of Balances, and Book of Eastern Mercury. Jaber also advanced a theory on geological formation of metals and dealt with many useful practical application of chemistry, such as refinement of metals, preparation of steel, and dyeing of cloth and leather, varnishing of waterproof cloth, and use of manganese dioxide to color glasses. Jaber was recognized as the master by the later chemists, including Al-Toghrul and Abu al-Qasim al-Iraqi, who flourished in the 12th and 13th centuries respectively. These chemists made little improvement on the method of Jaber. They confined themselves to the quest of legendary elixir which they could never find. Zakaria Razi, known as Razes in West, is the second great name in medieval chemical sciences. Born in 850 AD at Ray, he is known as one of the greatest physicians of all times. He wrote Kitab al-Asrar in the chemistry dealing with the preparation of chemical substance and their application. His great work in the art of alchemy was recently found in the libraries of Indian prince. Razi has proved himself to be a greater expert than all of his predecessors, including Jaber, in the exact classification of substances. His description of chemical experiment as well as their apparatus are distinguished for their clarity, which were not visible in the writings of his predecessors. Jaber and other Muslim chemists divided mineral substances into bodies, like, for example, gold, silver, then souls means sulfur, arsenic, etc. The spirits means mercury and sal ammonic, while Razi classified his mineral substances versus vegetable, animals, and minerals. The mineral substances were also classified by Al-Jaber. Abu Mansur had contributed to the method of the preparation and the properties of mineral substances. Abul Qasim, who was a renowned chemist, prepared drugs by sublimation and distillation. High class sugar and glass were manufactured in Islamic countries. The Muslims were also expert in manufacturing of ink, lacquers, LACQUERs, don't take it liquors, and solders, cements, and imitate pearls. So, this is what we have observed the contribution of Muslims in chemistry. Thank you very much for watching.